Hey, I literally tweeted out this picture. They literally have gone all over town, and they picked up every person that needs help, every homeless person. They brought them to safe harbor and shelter, and you can see an image of it. Wing TV out in Fort Myers put a great story on about my buddy Carmine, and I put it up there. Joe Bastardi, you have the Attorney General of Florida on here. Tell her how bad this is going to be, because it's going to engulf the whole state, and when it's going to happen.
Well, Florida, of course, is legendary for hurricanes, and if not so much over the past 20, 30 years, but before that. And this may be as bad as we've ever seen the state hit. The Florida Keys, this could rival the 1935 hurricane in the Florida Keys, which is the worst one on record over there. And we're also very, very concerned about this being as bad as Donna was back in 1960 in the southwest part of the state. So this is a very, very dire situation that we're looking at, and I want to compliment what happened in Florida also. I've been down there the past couple of days, and I was amazed this morning. I'm driving north now. The gas lines were gone this morning, and they did a tremendous job of resupplying things. And so I did want to pass that on to the Attorney General. That was
we got to give credit to the attorney. We got to give credit to Pam and Governor Rick Scott and all the adjoining states that lifted their regulations from the get-go when Governor Scott asked them to get some gasoline and lift the burdens on trucks and the process that could be very burdensome. And they got the gas, and they're able to get these people back on the road, and the same with supplies.
I want to make sure that we understand what's going on here with the weather, with the storm. I mean, I'm not the expert on evacuating people and things like that. This storm is going to be slowing down and being very close to Cuba for a while tomorrow. May delay the onset maybe 6 to 8 hours, but it's coming across the Florida Straits later tomorrow and tomorrow night, and the atmosphere is absolutely loaded for intensification. Unlike Katrina and Rita that weakened coming to the coast over the last 12 to 18 hours of their journeys, this one is likely to intensify all the way until landfall. And that means that when this comes across the Florida Keys, it may be as strong or stronger than it was when it impacted Barbuda. And I'm very, very concerned that we're going to see some of those bridges wiped out in the Keys. And when it gets to Marco Island, Bonita Springs, and these places, this is probably a benchmark hurricane. Now, that does not mean that you let up on the East Coast, even though the direct hit is not going to be in Miami and on the East Coast. It's still going to be a very bad storm.
Where's the direct hit? Where do you see the direct hit?
I think it's going to be, I'm becoming more and more convinced around Naples, Bonita Springs, after crossing the Keys. And I'm working on a situation. We were alluding to this yesterday.
Pam, we've told everybody that needs to evacuate, right? And people are doing it? Pam Bondi?
We have. Sean, we have. I lost you for a minute because I'm in the middle of a downpour. Sean, we have. And I'll tell you what, Floridians are actually listening. They're doing great. Governor Scott's been doing a great job. We've all been educating the best we can to everyone, and people are evacuating. They're heeding our warnings. They're getting out of town now before it actually becomes the truest of an emergency, and which it already is. But our roadways are safe. It's safe to drive out now. Our airports are all closing. Tampa International Airport's probably closed by now. It was closing today. But people need to get in their cars, get fuel. If you don't need a full tank of gas to get where you're going, don't use it. Take as much as you need and leave the rest for other people. That's something very important.
All right, Pam, stay right there. If you can stay a couple more minutes, and we'll have